Hi all, this video is going to show you how to perform a chi-squared goodness of fit test. We'll follow on from the example you were watching in the Khan Academy video. So here are the 4 answer choices and how often we'd expect to see them, 25 times each, how often we actually saw them or observed them. So we are going to enter this data into the calculator. We're going to need to tell it about the expected and the observed this time. So to do that, we're going to enter these in as lists. So you'll go to Stat and Edit, clear out your lists if you've got any data in them. And then just like you did the observed data first when you did your chi-squared test, we're going to put the observed data in list 1. So this will be list 1 here. This will be list 2. So the opposite of what we see on the screen there. We'll put in list 1, we observed 20 and 20. Go ahead and enter this along with me. Nothing like clicking a bunch of buttons. All right, data entered. Quitting back to the main screen, so second in mode. Go back to Stat, and you'll scroll over to Tests again. This time, though, we are checking how well our assumption that we have a uniform distribution or an equal distribution, how well that fits the data that we see. And notice we don't have 2 categories anymore. We have just 1 variable, which is the answer choice, instead of 2 variables. Select the goodness of fit test. Notice it's going to ask you for the observed and expected. If you've put them in as list 1 and list 2, then just leave them as is. Only thing you'll need to change here potentially is the degrees of freedom. And remember that that is 1 less than the number of categories that you have. Here we've got 4 choices, so 1 less would be 3. And as was mentioned in the video, that's because we only are free to make 3 choices on 3 of the categories because we know they have to add up to 100. So the 4th one, we are forced to choose so that it adds to the proper sum. Calculate. You get the chi-squared equaling 6, just like you saw in the video. And then we see the probability here is just over 10%, as we also saw in the video. This last row here is showing you how much each of the categories contributes to the chi-squared. So just like we saw calculating by hand, we saw that the one that calculated the most was the last one because it was the most different from what we expected to see. And that's performing a chi-squared goodness of fit test with your graphing calculator.